They say that things just cannot grow beneath the winter snow, so I have been told.
She was 18, she had a dream of being president. Her parents showed support, she was young but yet intelligent. Winter was her name, the neighborhood knew her. The schools would approve her. All her friends said she cooler than a fan, was born in Illinois. Mother had to fill the void. Divorce court took a toll and made her force her. Who you wanna stay with? She asked Winter. Winter runs to her room, hit the pillows as she cried in the shame. Imagining the pain of decision. Cause if she chose her dad, she'd be sad her mom will come visit. Deep shit, so if you stay with mama's beef shit. Argue back and forth on who was better, make you weak shit. Now she read shit, the wrong type of knowledge. She went away from home thinking I'm on my own, holla. Got caught up in that drug life, her friends made her enemies. Her parents worked it out, now they want her back in empathy.
They say that things just cannot grow beneath the winter snow, so I have been told. They say we're very far, just like a distant star. I simply cannot hold.
Now she's in the streets, 2 years later still incomplete. The road becomes darker, she losing all her energy. The bad habits became attracted to a mad savage. He had times where he would whoop her ass more than average. Dotted eyes, busted lips, but did it hurt her? She never knew what love had to do with Tina Turner. No man ever showed her. She learned to be a vulture since she ran away from home, got no discipline and culture. So that lifestyle was normal in her circle. Her family, her friends was reaching out, but she just cursed them. The trials and tribulations broken down in all stages. Craving, she looking for love in the wrong places. So confused, thinking what she got to lose. She walks across the Dearborn Bridge in the noon. Hop on the ledge, a man stops and says, don't jump, an angel can't receive his wings if you dare.
They say that things just cannot grow beneath the winter snow, so I have been told. They say we're very far, just like a distant star. I simply cannot hold.
True story when I'm telling you, designed to make a better you, a better me, living life with no regrets, the melody, dance to your victory, don't be ashamed to cry, Allah wipes the tears from your eyes, not you rise, you gotta fight the power, know that God is by your side, appreciate the ones who tell you truths instead of lies. Now Winter never jumped off that bridge, she survived, she gained her self-esteem back by learning what's inside, her fears became conquered, the demons went bonkers, she gave her life to God but no religion made her awkward, we're back to reading the knowledge, no more pills ever swallowed. No more corner hustling for them petty dollars. She turned her life around completely for the better. United with her parents back at home, things put together. 2 years later, she's a wife with 2 kids. A husband who addresses Winter as my rib.
They say that things just cannot grow beneath the winter snow, so I have been told. They say we're very far, just like a distant star. I simply cannot hold. They say that things just cannot grow beneath the winter snow, so I have been told. They say we're very far, just like a distant star. I simply cannot hold.
Dedicated to all the strong women out there. My mother, my aunties, grandmothers, cousins. Love you.
All right, hello everybody. This is your host, Dwight Robinson. I'm joined by Keisha. Of course, we know October is the Domestic Awareness Month. So I'm gonna go ahead and have Keisha introduce our special guest and we'll start the show.
All right. She is a psychologist, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, and part of a society called DIMS Development. Her affirmation in life is when you know who you are, no one else can define you. Never allow anyone to compromise your peace of mind. Sometimes you just need to move on and send your well wishes. You are in control of who you allow in your circle. Keep it peaceful, always pray, and always smile. Without further ado, I bring our first guest for the Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Ms. Eleanor Omenukwa.
Thank you for having me.
Hello there. How you doing, Ellen?
Oh, I am blessed by the best. Thank you for all having me tonight.
Yes, we thank you for joining us because October is the month of Domestic Awareness Month. Just have you on here to share something with us that might be able to help somebody else that might feel like about themselves or they have no hope. Can you give us a little insight about the things that happen to you?
Yes, I do want to correct. I'm not a psychologist. I do want to correct that. That came out of nowhere for me. But my background in this is very harsh. You don't expect to be in a situation until you're in it, and you don't usually know you're in it until you're out of it. So I can go on with many stories, incidents, children lost, self-esteem lost, self-lost. But, through, I believe, God, I was able to overcome and continue to move forward with my life.
Amen.
Amen. Now, let me ask you, how long in the relationship that was kind of ugly, how long did it take for him to start showing certain kind of violent behaviors or anything like that?
I'll say about a year. Then we got the verbal abuse. No one's gonna love you. You're just gonna be a pretty face. Those kind of things. You kind of lose who you are, believing what they said. But it happens soon after, especially when there's children involved.
Yes, and that's what I was going to ask. Because kids, they see that and they grow up with that. I can use a prime example, like I think what's his name, Chris Brown, I believe, his mom was in a certain situation like that, and I don't ever think he got any help for it. And that's what a lot of times domestic violence can end up affecting the children. They just repeat the cycle and everything. Speaking of that, how did your children, how did they get affected by the violence and everything?
Well, my daughter was so young. She was actually the reason why I left. She one day said, "Mommy, just let's go." And I was like, "Oh, is it that easy? I can do that? If you say let's go, let's just go." And I was gone since, and it's been a beautiful surprise. It wasn't easy, but it was definitely worth it. And I can say life has brought me so much joy outside of that experience, definitely more strength and faith. Okay, so I was able to move forward just through that little 2-year-old child.
That's good. That's good. So what you say? It wasn't too difficult for you just to figure out that situation. For so many women that are in that situation, they find it so hard to get out because, especially if they're in the state by themselves, they don't have any family, no friends, and they want to get out, but they just can't get out. And when you was in this situation, did you have any family friends that might be in the same state where you was living at that time?
I did have family. In my mind at the time, I didn't have family because of what I was being fed mentally. So I did have the support there, but I didn't see it. There was so many times I would go around family, they're like, what's those bruises? I mean, you got, you start making up excuses. Oh, well, it was kind of rough, adult play or whatever. So you can make excuses on why there's a big old bruise, not even something small, but it was bruises. So nonsense, I'll call it.
Well, one thing I know, Ellen, it's not just, I guess, physical, it's mentally as well. Was you getting mentally abused as well?
Yes. The mental abuse, again, is just saying everything what God is not telling me I am. So if I know growing up I'm supposed to be rich in Christ and a woman of God, and I have someone else telling me the complete opposite, you kind of get lost in that, especially if you're hearing it so often, you're going to start believing it. That's why I really stress to women, once you see a sign of a man that can put his hands on you, you leave, because it's not going to get any better. He's not going to not do it. And the honeymoon phases are really cute. They're really cute, but it's going to continue to get worse. And that's a fact.
Yeah. That is so true. They always, most of guys, they're violent and domestic, like they always tell the women that. Keisha, you have any questions you'd like to ask?
Yes. Now, you're in a relationship with this guy, and by the time you got out, and how long did it take you before you actually were able to start trusting again? Because often when we're in those relationships, our trust is almost demolished. And we kind of, blame every man for what one man did. And it robs us completely, because we don't know how to, learn from our past and move forward. And I know that you're happily married. So how long did it take you before you were able to even start trusting again?
I had to first trust myself, because how can I go around and trust someone else? And I just put my own self in a situation I'm supposed to trust myself to be in. So I had to first trust me. And with that trust in myself, I'm able to have that spirit of discernment and say, you know what, this person's whole attitude is off, or, he said a trigger word, or this person's demeanor, or the conversation. You will know once you trust yourself who to trust.
That's right. I wanted to ask, once you was able to get out that situation, did he ever try to stalk you or trying to find out where you was at?
Oh boy. Yes. It was scary. Sorry.
Take your time.
He tried to manipulate the situation through courts and trying to take away my child. And that was the straw. Like, okay, it's killed or be killed at this point. So I really had to put on my full armor and say, this is not who I am. I can't be afraid of this just one person. I can't allow this one person to dictate me and my thoughts and my life. I'm already too young to even be dealing with something like this. So I was able to basically ignore his signs, but we went through the courts, and that went through years. We still have things, but he's just not complying. So it's like, well, what else can I say?
That's true. It's never easy. It's never easy when you are trying to get away from someone like that. It's going to the courts, back and forth and everything. Now, he is a father of one of the children. Do she ever ask questions about that?
No, they don't have a relationship. I personally am not a woman who degrades him in any way, I believe she will find out on her own. There was times where she was growing up and she did say, "Mom, I remember that time where he hit you and you hit him back." And, this is a little child explaining to me she remembers those times. So I kind of try to keep it at a minimal. I don't even want to bring it up because she kind of lived that experience with me. So I don't want to bring it up to her so it won't continue to damage her, So I kind of keep it under wraps. If he wants to, the door's open. It's never been closed. It's just closed for me. The door's open for the child, but
Right.
I don't want to say anything bad about him. He knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, kids and kids have a big effect on their life, growing up and everything. Did she get any help? Did she get any therapy or anything during that time when she saw the abuse going on?
In that time when we were staying together, my mom, she would come get her, and my daughter didn't want to come home. I'm sorry. She didn't want to come home. So I guess that was her therapy.
Right. So, okay, we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back with our special guest to talk more about domestic violence. Y'all, it's very important to hear this because we have so many people going to this right now, and we're gonna take a short break, and we'll be back.
She was a happy-go-lucky person. Everybody loved her.
We always was coming up with things to do, things to make. She knew for a fact that he was not good for her, but she could not resist him, and that's her exact words to me verbatim. The way she described it to me was he was like a drug.
Hey, babe. Good to see you.
Love doesn't beat you down or cut you up. Stop! You're choking me. Miss Rich, I'm Kath Jones. I'm a social worker. Great.
Nah, y'all got it all wrong. I just want to see my daughter.
To women in a domestic violence situation, I say get out. And get out. Don't hold on to what you fell in love with. It's not love at all. Love is there to uplift you, empower you, and console you, not beat you, kill you. We know that's not love.
Well, we are back, and the show is the Unspoken Discussion Hour. We're talking about domestic violence, and this is the month for it. And we're talking to Helen, to sharing her story, to maybe to help somebody out there that might be going through the same thing. And if we want to thank Carbella for watching the show, and many others. If you're out there and you're going through a domestic violence situation where you just feel lonely or no help, anything like that, we have a number across the showing there that just call that number, talk to somebody, just to let you know that you're not alone, you're not by yourself. There's people out there that can help you maybe get out that situation and everything. So please call that number, and we'll try to help you the best way we can. Trying to find. Here we go. There we go. I lost everybody. There we go. So, Keisha, you might have any more words, questions to ask while we're here.
Yes. So, Ms. Eller, can you tell us what your profession is? And also, can you give us a little insight on the DIMS development?
Absolutely. DIMS Development Society is a society of mentorship. We are a invite-only group, and what we do is equip us with the knowledge we need to go to our next level. So that's from books to mental health coaching to learning lectures from other scholars outside in different states. So we do have our professor, Phyllis Gradine Tate. She's out of California. She comes in and does our mental health coaching. We have homework to do. There's also groups when we come together and just vent. It's important to get things off of our chest, especially when we feel like we have nobody to go to. So DIMS is specifically for our doers, influencers, motivators, and searchers. Those are 4 tiers in DIMS Development Society, and our highest tier is our doers. They are required to hold a 650 credit score. They're required to invest. They are required to go into their careers. They're in their careers, in the communities, doing philanthropy work. These are things we need in our communities. So we have our searchers, which is our first tier. These are individuals who are still learning their way. Where do I go? I remember when I first started out getting out of this situation, I didn't know what direction I was going in. I was just running all over the place. But there's situations where you just need someone to say, here, this is a step where you can go. What is your plan? What are your goals? And with that you have your mentor, and your mentor is going to basically guide you through your guide, your direction. And most importantly, we have our altars, which this Holy Spirit is vital in our lives. So if we are not moving through or not allowing the Holy Spirit to move through us, I don't know what to tell you outside of that. That's why it's required for all of our members to have their spiritual man together as well. So being able to go and read your Bible as well is something, or just to learn your history. It's not even necessarily a religious thing, but knowing who you are, where you come from. So with this development society, we come together and basically guide you into where the steps you want to go into your life.
Oh, yeah.
So, Eller, if they don't have, go ahead, Dwight.
all my years on this earth, I've been blessed to see 55, and during my years being 20 up to the 30s, I never knew it had that many people. Just every person I met in my life had some form of domestic violence, and it's just sad. Ellen, I remember talking to you on the phone, and you mentioned something about a mirror, looking in a mirror, or something like that. And can you explain what you mean when you was looking in the mirror at that time when you just had enough?
Oh yes, the mirror, it plays a very big role in our lives, because as we know, our eyes are the gateway to our souls. So when you fall in love, you fall in love with someone's soul. So when you go in that mirror, you literally are able to speak life into you. You are able to say who you are, where you want to go into your life. It could definitely be damaging if you are a negative person and all you're saying is all these negative things to yourself. But the most important thing is to speak life into yourself through that mirror, because all you're doing is reflecting, and it's just coming back to you. As you're saying it, it's coming back to you, and you start to believe it. Just like an individual can tell you that you're nothing but a pretty face, and you start to believe it. Once you start telling yourself these positive things in that mirror, I can guarantee you, as soon as you'll start to believe it. That's what that mirror is for.
Now, was this mirror experience, was that while you were kind of in the middle of your domestic violence, or was this when you came out of it?
I would say it was a couple days. Okay, so you get a week. We got, say for example, we got into a heated argument on Wednesday. So Monday I was talking to myself in the mirror. Tuesday I was talking to myself in that mirror, like, how am I doing this? I got a black eye, bruised lip. Why am I here? So by that Wednesday, all hell broke loose, and that was my out. But that mirror was my guide, and with that, I knew it was God telling me, you got to seek yourself. Okay, you got to go within yourself and get yourself out of situations. There's sometimes not going to be people to help you. There's not going to be, hey baby, come here, let me show you the way. You have to literally go for it yourself.
Amen. That's right. That's right. You all about that. Now, Ellen, during that time, when you met your husband and everything, and did you tell him about your story, and how did he react when you did tell him about you being in an abusive relationship?
He shed some tears with me. That got us really close, but I wasn't dating my husband. I never we dated after we got married. That's what it was. But we were friends. We were really real friends. There's situations where I was calling him like, I'm sick of this. So we were friends, and I don't know if you would have asked me if we would be married to this day. Back then I'd have been like, nah, you playing too much. But we were friends, and he didn't cry. He shared that experience with me.
Now, Eller, in your the DIMS development, are there other women in there that share your same experience
Yes.
as you ladies go up to the different levels?
Yes, absolutely. And this is where we learn how to cope. In our mental health coachings, we are able to identify our resilient zones. And I remember in the beginning, I went through my own program too. I'm going through it still. But it was important to learn when you're out of your zones, when you're not okay. And throughout each tier, you learn how to cope, and you start to learn you and say, hey, you know what, that doesn't even bother me. You tripping. I can see that, and hopefully you're okay today. You know, not even tripping off of the individual, but that's when you learn your resilience zone. So it's very imperative to have it.
That's wonderful. Now, as far as I think you said it's level 4 with a 600 plus credit score, is that, or do they help you achieve that score? Are there like different programs that they put you in to help you achieve that so that you can make that level?
Yes, we have people that specialize in credit repair. They come in and help you. We don't just leave you hanging or say you're required to do this, but we're not going to give you the tools. We want all of us to be successful. I have to go through the same program, so I want to be just as successful as the women coming under me. So yes, we have in everything that is required, we have someone teaching them, specializing in that.
All right. Okay. Now, Eller, during that time that you was in the domestic violence relationship, have you ever got to the point where you were so angry that you just wanted to take him out? Because I know in some cases, some women just can't take it no more. They just want to take their person out.
Yes. Plenty of times. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know my strength until I was fed up with the situation where I was fighting back. And I remember a time where I do not condone violence, but I broke his nose. And I remember that scream he let out. I was like, oh my God, I can leave. I know I can do this now. I felt so much strength knowing I hurt him just as much as he always hurts me, you know? So it was a lot of situations like that. You don't know you're in a situation until you're out of it. That's all I can say.
So Eller, I have a question for you. In the beginning of your relationship, what were some red flags? And if you can you share some of those with us, just so you know other women can be aware and identify if they're in a toxic relationship?
Absolutely. The outfits. For me, I'm a very fashionable woman. I just like clothes. I don't know. I just, someone's setting me off today. I'm set apart. But I love fashion. So I remember there was times where he's like, oh, well, that don't look right, or that's not gonna look good, or you're gonna attract too much attention, take it off. Or there was controlling of who's on the phone, or where are you going, or you come home from work at such and such, but why are you home 10 minutes late? It's this little small stuff that you'll notice, like, it doesn't feel right. And honestly, God gives us the spirit of discernment. You're going to know. We ignore it. And I have to admit that, being in that situation, I think I've seen those warning signs in the beginning, but I was too young to listen to those signs or take heed to that. And B, I didn't know how to respond or how to say, all right, I acknowledge this. Let me get out. I didn't know.
Now, right now, you just seem so happy and just full of a glow, energy. I guess when you get out of a bad relationship and get into one that's lovable, it just changes in so many ways.
Oh, it does. My poor husband, Lord. I'm so grateful for him and our relationship, because he's able to just, you are right, child. Because there's sometimes, especially in the beginning, I didn't know how to cope with someone telling me this might not be a good idea. So for me, I'm like, you're controlling me, but it's not controlling. It's just, let's reason here. Let's agree to disagree sometimes. So I had to learn to see the difference. And that was hard. That was really hard. I appreciate him so much, because throughout these 7 years, boy, oh boy, he's definitely taught me some things.
All right, yes. All right, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back more with the show.
is using her painful experience through an abusive relationship in hopes of saving others. Thanks for joining us at 5:30, everybody. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Tracy Townsend. 10 TV's Stephanie Stanovich has the details, and we have to warn you, they might be graphic for some.
There is this whole scar right through here.
A constant reminder to Valerie Cornett of a horrific experience she lived through.
No, he never hit me before.
But she says one day in April, that changed.
And that day he was acting very furtive and just different, like he was on edge.
She says her ex-boyfriend, John Chaney, who is now facing charges of assault and kidnapping, attacked her. She threatened to call the police.
And then pulled a gun on me and told me that he would shut me up. And as I was trying to retrieve my phone is when he turned around and busted me in the face. I don't know how many times. I know for sure 2 at least.
Cornett says her son was in the room and Chaney's 2 kids.
When you're in a situation like that, you're in survival mode.
Cornett didn't go to the hospital until 12 hours later. She told them she fell, but had a feeling they didn't believe her.
And that's when they found the skull fractures and the fractures in my face and the concussion and a back contusion.
A week went by. On the 13th, he dropped off her son at daycare. He took his kid. That's when she says police were called.
It was like, he's running.
Cornett shared her story on social media in hopes of helping others.
You can reach out to me. You can ask me about my essential oil products, and that tells me that you're in a DV situation or you're worried about it, and I'll keep checking on you. If they're in danger, I'll do whatever I can for them. Or create a woman's group where we can just watch out for one another at the end of the day, because it's not just our lives, it's our kids' lives.
Reporting in Columbus, Stephanie Stanovich, 10 TV News.
Police arrested Chaney in May in Kentucky this week. Chaney's bond was set at $250,000.
Well, we wanted to get some more perspective on this, so we spoke with experts at Nationwide Children's Hospital. We also spoke with the Lutheran Social Services program called Choices. They offer shelter and provide resources for adults in situations like these. Experts say isolation is a concern because most abuse happens at home. Another concern, victims worry about catching the virus at a shelter. But these organizations stress shelters are taking safety precautions. As for warning signs, here's what to look out for. An abuser might be controlling or put the victim down. The abuser's temper might drastically change, and the victim might distance himself or herself from others.
Leaving an abusive relationship is a very dangerous time, so we plan that very carefully with victims of domestic violence so that we can help them get to safety.
Just really knowing that that you're not alone and that help is available, and also that for every person who is a survivor, you're making decisions constantly about ways to keep yourself and your family safe. We recognize that you're making calculated and protective decisions.
Now, if you or someone you know needs help, go to thehotline.org. Also, Franklin County's LSS Choices Crisis Hotline is answered 24 hours a day, and the number to that is 614-224-4663.
All right, we are back. This is the October month of domestic violence, and we're talking to Ellen, going over her story. Hopefully this will help somebody that might be in the same situation. The number's on the screen, so if anybody going through a domestic violence situation, there's an 800 number that you can call and get help. Remember, you're never alone. There's always somebody there that can help. You don't have to face this crisis by yourself. So please dial that number if you need help getting out of domestic violence.
Now, Eller,
I want to ask you this question because when you hit his nose, broke it. Was he shocked?
Yes. He was shocked and I was shocked. We was both shocked. I think he got a little intimidated and I grew some strength. I'm a fairly tall woman. I'm almost 6 foot. So he was 6'4", and at the time, very heavy, almost 400 pounds. I think like 350. He was big.
Woo.
So just to do that,
That was some power, girl.
yeah, he was. That's why I don't like to fight nobody because I can't
That's
fight.
a big man.
I don't like to fight. I really don't.
So I have a question for you. I know you mentioned noticing some of the red flags and some of the bruises on you when you go around family. How long did you suffer the abuse?
Ooh. Years. I was in a relationship for about 3 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
Now, did your mother or your family ever take you out?
I think they did, but I don't know if they wanted me to tell them I needed help. Which at the time I didn't even know I needed help myself. So how am I going to tell you how I need help? There were people around, and I do remember there was a situation where we were walking to the store and we had a confrontation, and we were in the street fighting, and it's funny now because I've been through it, but
Right.
I was under a bus stop bench, like trying to get away from him, and the police rolled up. And as much as I'm trying to get away from this man, oh, you're officer, we're not fighting. They can clearly see. They said they've gotten multiple calls about me getting, being in a fight in the middle of the street, and I'm still defending this person. So yes, there was people that were around to help me, but was I strong enough, or did I have the ears to hear? No.
So what tools did you use to get out of that situation?
The mirror.
What fear?
The mirror.
The mirror. Oh, yes. Okay.
The
building
mirror.
yourself up.
Yeah, definitely building
now,
myself up.
that's a man. So he never been arrested when y'all was together, right?
No.
Wow.
No. There was times where he could have. There was even a time where I did go and try to get a restraining order, and I gave them the wrong name. I can't explain these actions, but I defended this man for so long where I was that afraid of him. I'm thinking if he gets in trouble, he's going to come after me. I have to the state in order for me to gain that inner strength to even fight back.
And see, that's the question I'm going to ask, because he kept saying you nothing more but a pretty face. But was he saying things like, if you report me to the cops, I'm going to hurt the baby, or I'm going to do this or do that? Because most guys will do that, domestic violence, they'll use family, friends to keep their hold on you, and everything, so you won't report to them or won't leave anywhere.
Yes, he used my daughter against me a lot. That was his weapon. Even when I was in the relationship with him, we would have arguments, and he would try to turn my daughter again. She's 2 years old. First of all, she doesn't have no idea what we're talking about, let alone can she help you in this decision on being upset with me. So he used her a lot against me, and when she told me to leave, she's my angel. She has no idea, but she played a big part of my survival. Big part.
So what advice would you give some of the... Go ahead, Dwight.
No, go ahead.
What advice could you give, or just some words of encouragement could you give to someone that may be watching that needs that help?
You are loved. You are appreciated. You are enough. And yes, in spite of what you're feeling or you're going through or what it looks like, you can get out. I left with nothing. nothing. I mean, I left not only the apartment we were in, but I left the entire state with my own child. I had a whole being. You can leave. You can gain everything you lost back. I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy life a little more, but you can leave. You can love again. Someone else is going to love you better. I promise. I promise.
Those are beautiful words of encouragement.
Yeah. Now, I was just, thinking of this man being 400 pounds and just putting his hands on you alone. That's a pretty big sized man and everything. So he never broke anything on you, like a wrist or anything like that, because him being about 6'4", 400 pounds, did he ever do anything to send to the hospital?
I don't know. To this day, I don't know why I didn't have any permanent damage. And if it is, I don't know. But I know I was able to get out. But he did a lot of damage. There was situations. I remember one situation where I think we were arguing about what I was wearing to church. I was trying to get out so bad. I was starting to go to church. He put my hand to the side, got on me with his knees next to me, just was slapping my little face back and forth. And I'm like, yo, why? Why? What is it for? It's not love. So yeah, I don't know why I didn't have any damage, but maybe it was God's plan for me. I wasn't supposed to be there.
Thank God for that. Yeah, thank God for that. Because that is a big man. You say he's about 6'4", 400 pounds, and it wouldn't take much for him to do any damage and everything. So you're right, it's nothing but really help you get out that situation and everything. That's truly a blessing and everything. I just appreciate you being on the show because, go ahead, Keisha.
So I have being that you have a daughter, and I know you love her tremendously, just what skills would you give for our audience to break that cycle? What skills did you use to break that cycle?
Love. And I have to say love because love is an action. And when you say skill, you're using some type of action in that skill. So love. If you have that love, you'll know when you're not loved, and that is a very imperative tool.
That's so true. And that's what I was going to ask because I know when kids see that, they usually kind of trigger things. They have nightmares. They end up talking about either what they seen or what they heard. So, have your daughter ever mentioned anything about the time y'all was there with him? Did she say anything or have any nightmares about that ever since she left the state to move on?
Yeah, she went through some things as far as waking up in the middle of the night, having the sweats. Back then, she had a lot of respiratory issues, and with any sickness, it's stress. So she was probably under a lot of stress, and it showed in her physical man. I'm just glad I was able to get her out of that. Now she is so mature for her age. I don't know what I did right with her, and I went through the worst of times with this one. This is the second child. I'm like, I'm in a better position than what the heck is happening, But she's a really great child, very mature for her age. And I
did you
the experience?
At any point, did you ever think that you would need to seek out any type of help for her? Like being that she was so young, but yet she still remembered so much stuff. Did you ever think about getting her any type of therapy or anything?
No. And I would have to say that's on me because I didn't even get help myself. To this day, I didn't. I've lost children throughout this experience. buried my own children. So you never get over this. This is just something you allow yourself to be resilient of. You are in control of how you're handling. Now, I can't say I didn't get emotional. I can't say thinking about it at times just makes me upset, but I'm human. But what I was also able to do was seek God first, and everything else came, including healing, including my husband, including another child, including everything I have right now. You know, it came. So I didn't get therapy, what man would say. I literally went in within, and prayer works.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I agree with that. Now, this man is the ex. Has he ever tried to, knowing that y'all share chocolate, most guys that are, that been abused to their women try to call to see the child, but they use that as a tactic, they use that as a way of trying to get back in the woman's life. Have he ever tried to call or send a letter saying he wants to see his child, he missed his child? Has he ever did anything like such a thing as that?
Yes. He calls every blue moon. I can count on one hand within this time. But when he does, it's always, he demands that I have her call. And I refuse to do that. I'm doing 99% of the work. You can't do 1%. So I just wipe my hands clean. It was a recent time where he called and was asking about my personal situation or my marriage. I'm like, well, what the heck do I have to do in anything? But you want to help your daughter out? You want to send something? But his response was, my birthday is next week. I have nothing else to say. I don't have anything against him. There's no malicious intent. I don't see him. I try not to even bring him over here. I just wanted to at least revisit this situation so another woman can know you are able to leave, no matter how intimidating, no matter how big, no matter how much people he have behind him, his team, no matter any of that, you're able to move forward.
Right, good.
Now, Eller, with your husband now, how does he, display to your daughter how she should be valued by a man? I know you both probably sit down and discuss this with her, but how does he display that to her?
Oh my gosh. They basically have a bond where she asks questions and he gives the realest answers. Like, there was a situation where she wanted to go to the park and she couldn't go by herself, but she needed to have like a walkie-talkie, or, we need to make sure I could see you or something like that. But she didn't understand why. So he was able to break it down in a way where she's like, okay, well, next time, can I just go with my friend? You gotta kind of break situations down to children. They have a great relationship. I can't come in between it. He's been there for a while, and I just want their relationship to continue to grow, and she's loved the right way.
I have a question, but we're gonna take a quick break real quick, and we'll come back and I'm gonna ask you another question, but we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Is using her painful experience through an
I thought he was someone I wanted to be with. And then he just turned into like a monster. Because I saw that he was on the news and I wouldn't want him to hurt somebody else.
An alleged domestic violence victim comes forward after seeing a story right here on News 4 San Antonio. It comes as we learn Bexar County leads Harris, Dallas, and Travis counties for the highest murder rate of women by male partners. Alejandra Guzman joins me now to share her message to other women.
That's right, Irene. But first, a warning. Her allegations are very disturbing. We'll call her Jane to help protect her identity. She says she and her son endured broken bones and bruises, a year of torment and torture. Now, she's stepping forward in hopes her story may help save someone else's life.
When I tried to run away and from downtown, he took me home and he just tied me up to a chair and just started stabbing me with like knives and a whole bunch of things and hurting my son.
24-year-old Jane opened up to News 4 about her troubled relationship.
After he'd beat me, he would just come and just tell me like, I'm sorry, and I would just accept it, because if I showed him any other emotion besides me being happy, I would just be in more trouble. It's not like your regular just punch, slap type thing. It's like you're tortured every day. Your son has to watch you every day you get beat. If not, it's him that's getting beat.
But the love and affection only lasted 3 weeks, according to Jane.
Not just by his hands. He would grab like table legs and beat my son and beat me, and just like if we were one of the dogs, he would beat.
Triggered by anger that would leave her and her 4-year-old son at the time in pain, without a phone or a way out.
I almost died multiple times, you know. Like my head's been split open 3 times. My ribs are fractured. My wrist is broken. Like, nobody wants to live with those memories.
Jane says she was not allowed to see or speak to her family unless...
We had fun calling, you know, having a call while he was hitting her. It was like an enjoyment to him.
Jane says she was stubborn. Her mom recalls seeing her bruises and broken bones, but it was finally this incident.
He beat my son until his body was literally purple and black.
That she got the help needed to escape the alleged abuse. Jane says her mom was instrumental in helping her leave her ex, who was never charged with the crime. She hopes more women will speak out. She considers herself to be one of the lucky ones. Experts do say 1 in 3 women right here in San Antonio will become a victim. For help, or if you know someone in need of help, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That number is 1-800-799-SAFE.
All right, we are back, and we are talking. This is the month of domestic violence on the Unspoken Hour discussion, and I wanted to ask another question. Adam, all the years that you've been with this, when you was with your ex, did he ever apologize one time for doing wrong to you?
Never. It was actually my fault. That was what I was told. He's not going to apologize. It was more, I did this. In his eyes, I created all of this. I made him do that. Sick.
Yeah, he was crazy to say something like that. But that's what most abusive do. They'll bring somebody else, anybody besides themselves. So, really not too much surprised at what he just said and everything. I just want to say I'm so honored to have you here on the show. Like I said, because this is the month we talk about domestic violence, and it's just so many people that's going through it. It can be your neighbor, it can be somebody at the church, it can be someone at the job. You just don't know who it is. And if anybody's watching, please make sure to share this video. Like I said, there's a number at the bottom of the screen that you can call to seek help, because you're not alone. You don't have to feel alone. And just call somebody to get help and get yourself out of the situation. Keisha, do you have anything else you'd like to ask?
I don't have any more questions, but I do want to say thank you so much for your story. It was very enlightening. It was very touching, just to see your courage, because I'm sure there were many days and nights that you probably didn't even know if you were going to make it out. But I thank God for your daughter. I thank you for listening to her. And you're here today to share your story. And I hope that this helps men and women, because men are abused just as well as women. So I hope that this really helps someone to know that they are important, they are valued, and that they can get out to seek help.
I definitely want to thank you all for having me and at least allowing me to share just a smidget of my story. You will hear this story pretty soon, but we'll let that time come. But I do appreciate you all, and please seek the help you need, seek the help you deserve, and you will find it. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Well, we enjoy having you because, like I said, this can help out somebody that's watching that can't figure out how to get out the situation. Like I said, a lot of ladies and some men, they find themselves in like an endless loop, like they just can't get out of a domestic violence situation. And hopefully, seeing this show, hearing your story, will be able to help somebody get out of a certain situation and everything. Because you see, so many people don't make it out. They just don't make it out, and this is why we do this for October, the awareness of domestic violence. And I love doing the show. I wasn't 100%. I told Spicy I was going to do it, regardless. I would do it blind. And so we'll be doing the next show next Thursday. I'm not too sure. I'll give it Spicy and everything. And I'm praying for her to have a fast recovery for the surgery and everything. And also, it's Purple Hearts. You got things going on. Y'all keep doing those Purple Hearts. We'll get more information out about that. And once again, Ella, I appreciate you, Keisha, Spicy. I always appreciate you for sharing yourself with us about the mess and violence. So hopefully, it will definitely help somebody get out of a bad situation. So, on that note, anybody else have any final words before we cut off?
No.
I just want to send blessings to everyone. I love to send my encouraging words before I leave anyone, because you don't never know when the last time you will see someone. But I send everyone blessings. You will prosper. Keep your head up. Everybody's going through something, but we got this, and together we'll conquer anything.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Yes, I agree 100%. And with that, we love y'all out there. Like I said, we're praying for people that's going through it. And like I said, you're not alone. There's an 800 number, the number on the screen you can call and everything. Looking forward to doing the show again. Spicy, get well. We miss you. God bless everybody. I want to say everybody have a good night. And we'll see you soon on the Unspoken Discussion Hour. And don't forget your Purple Hearts. Right, so we'll be getting back with y'all. Keep those Purple Hearts going.
Oh,